Hey guys, we are on lecture 3 for our air pollution unit. Sorry, chapter 18. You should be accessing the updated slides and the updated reading guide. I made some tweaks based on what College Board has changed for this year. And so if you had printed previously, you're going to want to take this page that you did that has like acid deposition, and this question at the bottom is going to look different than the previous question, the number 11. Okay, and then the back side is different as well. So please make sure, I'll read the questions as we go so that you know which questions we're doing so you can match up with it, but make sure you're with the updated reading guide and the updated lecture. So let's talk about indoor air pollution. So last time we talked about acid deposition. Let's talk about indoor air pollution and kind of some sources. So there's natural sources, there's anthropogenic sources, which as you remember means human caused, and then they specifically separate out combustion as another source. Okay, so let's talk natural first. So those natural occurring indoor air pollution sources, this helps answer number 11. 11 says list some air pollutants, and then it splits it up into those 3 categories. Mold and dust would fall under that. If you are allergic to dust in the winter, probably your allergies are bad. We found that we have one of those like battery vacuum Roomba things. Its name is Sparky. My husband has found that his dust allergies are better when we run Sparky more often. So even like right now is the sunlight shining and I can see like dust floating around our house. So mold and dust fall into that category. But then one that we should particularly pay attention to is radon. Radon 222, which is the isotope of radon. Okay, so this is number 12. And you're going to want to write little for number 12. It talks about radon, and it has a whole bunch of questions that go with it. So the reason we want to kind of get into this more specifically is because it applies in Brookfield and Elm Grove. We have a particularly high risk of radon. Okay, so let's talk about what it is first. Radon occurs naturally. It's a radioactive gas, and it happens when uranium that's found in rock and soil, particularly some types of limestone, which you know we have in Brookfield, decays. And as it decays, it produces radon. So radon can enter groundwater. It can also enter your basement or through cracks in your foundation or the walls. So it moves through the soil. So it can infiltrate homes as it like rises through the soil. Okay. So if you search out like radon in Wisconsin, Waukesha County in particular is a hotbed of radon. Okay. So there's a $10 test you can get to test and see if radon levels are too high. The zip code they mentioned particularly is 53005, which is my zip code, which is Brookfield East zip code and a lot of your zip code. It's called Radon Zone 1, which means that it's designated as worst for radon by the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA. It has levels of over 4 picocuries per liter, which is a measurement of radioactivity. And so, like, my mom's calling me. It's good just to know about that, okay? So we'll kind of talk about it now. So the reason we care is that it's been proven that long-term exposure can lead to something called radon-induced lung cancer. It's a type of lung cancer that's different than other types of lung cancer, particularly if someone like lives in the basement in a radon-heavy area. And it's the second leading cause of lung cancer in the U.S. Okay, so what you see in the picture right there, that's a radon mitigation system. We have one at our house. So when we moved into our house in 2006, the home inspector tested the basement and found high levels of radon, and they installed the radon mitigation system. So the part of number 12 asks how we get rid of it. A radon mitigation system, MITIGATION. I don't have my stylus up here. I don't think. No stylus up here.
No.
Is how we get rid of it. So basically, it exhausts the radon gas from the soil through a PVC pipe. The PVC pipe runs from inside the sump pump to the roof of the house, and it makes a vacuum that like pulls out the gases. And then there's an exhaust fan on the top of the pipe that like blows it out. So like if I happen to be up in the middle of the night, I can hear the radon mitigator running. It runs mostly at night. And then that picture there, that's exactly what it looks like in the back of our house. Oh, my husband says it runs constantly. Oh, my husband says it runs constantly, so I'm wrong. If you just heard someone beep, that was in front of our house. So again, Brookfield and Elm Grove have been identified as the EPA as high risk areas. Okay, so that's radon. And the reason that we have issues with it again is just because of like the natural geology of our area. So that should answer everything for number 12. If you could flip back to number 11, let's now talk about some anthropogenic or human-caused indoor air pollution sources. Okay, so one of them is insulation. In the home. So like insulation that you would put to keep your home insulated, which we like to keep energy in, which we talked about in a previous lecture. We also talked about volatile organic compounds. We know that they're released by some plants, right? We talked about photochemical smog, but you know that like new car smell, new furniture, paneling, carpets, that's releasing VOCs as well as formaldehyde. Okay? So building materials, furniture, upholstery, carpeting, I'm sorry, it's super chaotic because my parents just came and dropped something off and everybody's talking and okay, so then formaldehyde is also released. So it's that new furniture, that new car smell. And you see in the diagram or the picture there, it says, are you lightheaded or foggy, but you don't know why? So that could be because of the formaldehyde or because of the VOC. So you can actually look for formaldehyde-free carpeting. We don't really have carpeting in our house. We have wood floor and tile. But when we bought our new couch, we looked at like formaldehyde and VOC free as well. And then the other one that you should be aware of is lead from paint. So in the 70s, lead was banned from lots of product, including paints. But lead has been proven to be a neurotoxin. It slows cognitive development. It can produce like neurological like tremors, almost like Parkinson's. There's a whole host of other issues that lead can cause. You guys know that Flint, Michigan has had issues with lead in the water. Well, lead from paint chips is also a thing. And from like, especially like during renovations, like the dust created. And so any houses that have been built before 1978, when you have a kid, you got to get the baby tested for lead. And I wrote down in Wisconsin, it's at 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 18, 24 months, and then 3, 4, 5, 6 years of age. It's just like it's either a heel prick if they're an infant or it's a finger prick to test for lead levels. And like, why kids? Okay, so kids' immune systems are less developed. They're smaller in general, so the amount of lead builds up in their system. Their brains are still developing, and what kind of habit do kids have that adults don't necessarily have, especially like toddlers? They put everything in their mouth. So I had a student with lead buildup when I was student teaching he'd scratch his skin until he bled because he felt like he had bugs crawling on him and he had emotional issues and anger issues and whatnot. So technically another source of indoor air pollution would be the dust or the chips from lead from the paints. Okay? We're still on number 11. And then the last one are because of combustion. So there we go. So carbon monoxide would fall into this category. It's created when your furnace creates heat. And if ventilated improperly or something's going on, it can build up in your home. What you see there is a carbon monoxide alarm, which is now mandated in all residencies. It's super loud if you've ever like had to test it or if like it's ever like fallen out of the outlet. When Chloe was little, was it Chloe or Casey? One of them would like always pull it out or bump into it.
That'd be me.
It's so loud. So it's classified as an asphyxiant, which means that you ultimately stop breathing. The first signs of carbon monoxide poisoning are like a headache and nausea. Mr. Harder and his family, maybe like 4 years ago, had an issue with carbon monoxide buildup. I had his daughter Maria in class, and I remember her coming to class with like some symptoms and talking about it. And they eventually had to like clear out for a couple days till they got it fixed. A couple other sources that you should write down. NOx and SOx, so nitrogen oxides and sulfur dioxide. Particulates, this goes back to asbestos, dust, and then tobacco smoke. Tobacco smoke globally is still the number one cause of indoor air pollution. Okay. So that should have answered number 11. You should also have 12 kind of filled out. And then this kind of breaks down where in the house we can find all these things. And so, for example, nitrogen oxides would be from unvented gas stoves, kerosene heaters, wood stoves. If you have like a cabin or like a grandparent's house that has a wood stove, it also tells you the health threat there. Particulates would be things like dust, pet dander, if you have pet allergies, pollen. Asbestos is listed there, carbon monoxide. Down on the bottom right, this is where it talks about radon and the threats to that. Tobacco smoke, and then there's a couple other ones that a lot of them come like formaldehyde, tetrachloroethylene, paradichlorobenzene. Those are all things that come with, well, this one says air fresheners and mothball crystals. Yeah. So instead of trying, let's see where I'm at with time. I'm at 10 minutes. I don't think I can fit the last 5 slides in 5 minutes. So we're going to make this a shorter lecture. Again, this is part 3. Threes. And I will come back for part 4. So you should be through number 12 at this point. See you soon.
That was